important things. One is a brand promise. What is it that you're promising people? Are you promising or over-promising and under-delivering? In branding exercise, if you over-promise and under-deliver, I think that's almost close to suicide. Right? The other thing that I would really want to touch on is internal branding of your own staff. How much are you spending on the upgrading of your staff so that they can be your brand ambassadors? In just a while, I want to touch on that one. Then the brand story, as I mentioned to you, we are all about, like Ofra, talking about brand stories and our brand experience. So what's your brand promise? If you look at your brand, what is it that you are promising to your customers or to your staff? So go back on Thursday and ask your staff, what is it that we are promising our customers? And I'm not saying to pick up your vision or your mission and say this is our promise, but look really into, in the business of hospitality, what is your promise to your customers? So what is the meaning of promise? It's really about what value that you are promising your customers. What's the benefit that your customers? I'm going to give you an example. It's just one sentence that I got. In terms of any long-term relationship, it's really about passion, it's about relationship building, and brand is about creating that emotion and about the passion. So what is this promise that you're giving? So you have your slides, I think in your thumb drives. If you could just go back and do this exercise with your staff and ask them, who are we? It's almost to asking yourself, what's your personality? And if I ask anyone here, what's your personality? Beyond the first description, you'll get stuck. You can try asking yourself today when you go back, what's my personality? And after the first word, many of us get stuck. It's like, what is our personality? When you're so closely connected with yourself, and it's difficult for you to talk about who are you and what's your personality, imagine the difficulty that you are going to be facing when you look at the personality of your hotel. So the exercise that you could do when you go back is, what is your personality of your hotel? What is that we stand for? Who are we? And what are we representing to our customers? It's not a simple exercise, because when you look at this, it might be able to give you a little bit of an understanding. Disney. How many of you have been to Disney? You love Disney? Yeah, I think it brings the child in all of us. It brings the fun element in all of us. Why does it bring the fun element? It's a huge organization. But from what I have learned about Disney, I've spoken to people who have worked in Disney, the primary thing of the success behind Disney is the value proposition that everybody in Disney believes in. Now, what do I mean by that? Disney is basically about fun. When you look at their mission statement or whatever, they only talk about having fun. And do they believe in it? They believe in it. Number one, when they recruit staff, and they always ask the staff the first thing, do you know how to have fun? So if you want to be a sweeper in Disney, the interviewer will ask the person who has come for the interview, can you sweep happily? And if you really want a job, say, yeah, I can sweep happily. And they'll say, can you do a demonstration of sweeping happily? And if you can show how happily you sweep, then you can be a staff of Disney. If you want to make popcorn, they'll ask you, do you know how to make happy popcorn? So what's this happy popcorn? How can popcorn be happy? But it's about the happiness of the people who's making the popcorn. So when they recruit somebody for Disney to make popcorn, they ask somebody, can you make it happy? So anybody who wants to join Disney, they have to have the value of being happy. If you want to spread happiness in Disney, and if you are not happy, then how do you do that? So the people who come into Disney have to believe that they are happy. So it starts from the recruitment process. So when you ask yourself, what does your hotel stand for? And if you're recruiting staff who don't believe in the value, then I think something will go wrong along the way. Because your staff who are coming into your organization do not believe in your brand values. So we take from Disney how they actually bring across happiness in their organization. If you look at the American Express as a card, I mean, people feel proud, whether you use it or not. You want to have an American Express in your wallet. Why is it? It's because of the brand promise of having a privilege. So how many of your customers feel a privilege to stay in your hotel? And this is what American Express has promised to your customers. Nike is not in the business of selling shoes, but they are in the business of selling inspiration. That means to say, when you don a Nike shoe or a Nike outfit, what they're promising you is that you feel inspired to exercise. You feel inspired because of their innovation. So again, if you look at a hotel and what you can take from Nike, it's not about your product, but when people come and stay, do they feel the passion? Do they feel the emotion when they're walking through your hotel? This is some examples of, I like Häagen-Dazs. If I ask anybody, what is Häagen-Dazs trying to sell? Right? Most people will say ice cream, right? Ice cream. But Häagen-Dazs is not in the business of selling ice cream. They are in the business of selling adult indulgence, right? So it's a simple exercise for you. If you could go back and ask yourself, what is it that we are selling? What is this experience? It's not room, it's not ice cream, it's not shoes, but it's inspiration, it's indulgence. What is it that your hotel is selling? A very important exercise, right? If you look at some of the best brands in the world, one of the first things they do is that, what are we promising to our customers? The next thing I want to touch is on internal branding. As I mentioned to you, in my experience as a trainer and coming from the industry, almost 90 to 95% of the staff do not understand what is your brand, or what does your brand stand for? What is the value that you are promising to your customers? I have spoken to hoteliers who tell me, oh, we are upgrading our hotel. So what are you doing to upgrade your hotel? We are building new extension, we are building new rooms, we are upgrading our convention centers. So I always ask them one thing, you know, if this is part of your rebranding exercise, that you're upgrading your rooms and your convention centers, when was the last time that you upgraded your staff? When was the last time? We talk about capacity building. Your staff are the pillars of your organization. So if you want to build a brand, then I think you have to build your staff first before you build your extensions, your rooms, to be able to be in line with your branding exercise. I'll share something with you. This is something that I think we are quite clear with, but I want to share something about your staff. If your staff are committed in terms of your brand value, then it is very easy for you to bring your branding into the minds of your customers. I want to share one example of how your staff can be your brand ambassador. These two people. These two people are from Bhutan, and what they have done is something that is very interesting because it's a boutique hotel, only 45 rooms that they have, but they have won the National Geographic Award to be one of the unique hotels. Now, it is not about the architecture. They've got beautiful architecture, they have beautiful rooms, but these two people did something that is so important to a hotel because they were the brand ambassadors. When I had the opportunity to stay in this particular hotel, in Bhutan, in December, there's nothing very much to do, but what this lady did is, we were sitting down board as a family, and some of our friends, she told us, don't worry about whether we have any products in the hotel tonight to entertain you, because I will be your entertainment. What did she do? The whole night, she was sharing with us about her life as a Bhutanese, and single-handedly, she did what any museum could have done in 2 hours. She told the life story, her life story, and the life story of a typical Bhutanese. The next thing that she did is that once she learned that we are a bit crazy about Bollywood, she said, don't worry, for the next few hours, we will entertain you, or I will entertain you with Bollywood music. She was single-handedly a one-woman pub at that time. She took it on her own as a stage. She spoke about the Bhutanese life like she's a museum. She sang for us like as if she's a one-man entertainment or one-woman entertainment force. And for that 4 hours, she took it upon herself to entertain us. And we have not forgotten this experience that I had at this hotel called Xioling. Now, everywhere in the world, I tell this story. I'm the brand ambassador. I evangelize for this particular hotel. Right? Unknowingly, they have turned me into a brand ambassador. She doesn't know the power that she has over the consumer, but she believed in the brand and the brand value of if she will leave. She personally believes it. That is why she's able to do what she did for us. And she's not the only one. There are many, many other people. I had a wonderful experience. I don't know whether the good people of Heritage Kandalama is here today. But I had a wonderful experience down there because of one person who was my personal waiter when I had a dinner 4 years ago in Heritage Kandalama. I talk about it all over the world, right? Now, they did not pay me to be the ambassador, but I have become a brand ambassador for your hotel. How many of your customers are going around talking about your hotels and being your brand ambassador because your navigators are the people who are in the front line, have gone beyond their job capacity to be able to transform the experiences so that we go around talking about you. Now, what does that require? It requires a lot of training of your ground level staff. Now, this is important. I would say strategic management and all of you over here, being here is important in terms of capacity building, but I would say to each and every one of you, go back, look at the training of your frontline staff, because they are your internal brand ambassadors. Whenever I do training on customer service, I've spent half a day talking about how these frontline service staff are VIPs. They don't believe it when I tell them, you are the VIPs of the company. Until I tell them there's so many stories that I have encountered, and why I am a brand ambassador of particular hotels today is because of the emotional transformation that the frontline service staff have brought about in me. I have to keep telling them, you are VIPs, you are very important. And some of them have told me, almost 70% of them have told me that you are the only one who tell us that we are VIPs. None of our management have actually told us or made us feel that we are very important people in the transformation of a guest experience. I have to do so much work to make them feel so good. But the next 1.5 days become wonderfully easy for me to be able to teach them skills training. Now, if you do as much as I do, make your people feel that they are very important people, they are the brand ambassadors. Sometimes you have to put a clip on their jackets and say, you are the brand ambassador of our hotel. Make them feel good, and then you think about the skill set that you want to transfer to them becomes so much easier. So, Make a Difference program, Embassy Suites is one of the hotels that have got a Make a Difference program. Do you have a program in your hotel that makes a difference in your staff? If you don't, I'll encourage you to have a program in place that would make your staff feel like they make a difference. IHG hotels have another one where they make the staff recognize each other and go into the Facebook and like their achievements. Marina Bay Sands, Singapore also have a similar program where they make their staff feel that every time they do a wonderful thing out there, they are recognized by their internal staff as well. So today is not about you understanding your brand, it's about how much your staff is able to understand the brand of your strategy. So instead of looking at your advertisement strategy or your branding strategy from the management level, maybe it is time to tip it and look at what is your staff's understanding of the values of your brand. So it's an inside-out strategy. I just want to share something with you. Perhaps you go back and read a little bit more on Zappos. Now Zappos is one company that has been very successful in internal branding, and we learn from them. What Zappos has done is that they spend about 4-week training of their customers, new recruits. They train them, and they train them on the brand value. They convince them that this is what Zappos stands for, and this is our brand value. And thereafter, after their 4-week training, in 1 week, what they do is that they gave an offer to the staff who is a new recruit and said, I'll give you $1,000 if you leave our company now. Now, what's the challenge here? Can any one of you take the challenge here? $1,000 after a week training to your staff and say, would you leave? But only 10% of the staff at Zappos take that challenge and say, we will leave. What happened to the 90%? Believe in the Zappos values. Right? Now, what is it that they're doing? That 90% believe in that and say, I don't want to take that $1,000. Can you translate that into your organization? What is it that they're doing? So, IHG, same thing. They have a brand hearted. What they do is they transform the staff and say, okay, we have a brand. We want all of you in our organization.